And welcome. My name is Greg. I'm a materials and applications specialist here at Golden Artist Colors and with Williamsburg. Today we are going to revisit our modern mixing set and show you some of the changes that we're going to be making toward the end of the year. So we have the Fanchon Permanent Crimson and the Quinacridone Brown, Gold Brown going to be transitioning to Pyro Red, Quin Magenta, and Green Gold. This is all going to be coming around toward the end of the year. We wanted to take the Fanchon out and transition to the Pyro because it has a little bit better light fastness. The Quinacridone Magenta for the Permanent Crimson because it is just a little bit more on the modern side, and we'll take a look at some of its mixing qualities here in a second. And we are losing the Quinacridone Gold Brown, one of the pigments in this color. There's a discontinuation on that pigment, the PR206, and so we decided to take that out and put in a green gold. So we're excited about some of these changes because what it does for the set is it gives us this is the new set, here's the older set up top. It takes us to a place where we have a cooler yellow, warmer red, cool red, a purple blue. So this would sort of function as your warmer bluish color, your cooler blue. And then we get a warmer green and a cooler green here. So the phthalo green, green gold. Then we sort of finish that cycle and we get everything has a little bit of a warm cool. As you can see here, the Quinacridone Magenta in comparison to the Permanent Crimson has a much bluer mixing quality. And then the Pyro Red is a little bit warmer. So it takes that and it gives us a little shift there. So you'll be looking for this retail establishments toward the end of the year. Okay, so we just wanted to sort of fold you into this. It's exciting. It's new for us. We're still working out all the details of getting this going, but one of the things that we wanted to share with you is that in this new set, you're going to find this color mixing chart. And so, like on the golden side with our modern theory color mixing chart, we're going to have this in the Williamsburg set. Okay, this shows the old set, but the new set will have this color mixing chart. That'll be coming out toward the end of the year. And in the meantime, sometime in October, I think, check the website. Here, let me move all this stuff out of the way. Check the website. We'll put a PDF up so you can start to utilize this mixing chart with some of your colors. If you already have this set and the majority of the colors on this chart, then you can start to use this to make some mixtures. All right, and maybe you already have green gold, Quin Magenta, and Pyro Red in your collection, which would be great. So I want to talk to you about how this chart works. So let's just lay it out. Inside of the set, you'll have your 8 colors and your titanium white. So if you look at the top here, you'll see that each color has a corresponding number to it. All right, and then the titanium white's number 9, so 1 through 9. And then when you look at the individual mixture here, you'll see that above each mixture there's a couple bars and some numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to transition, I'm going to take one of these, I'll show you an expanded view of it. All right, so what we have is here a nice beautiful purple mixture, and then this is the tint of that mixture. This color mixed with titanium white, 1 part color to 10 parts titanium white. And then you have a visual of the different colors that are used in this mixture and how much would be in the mix. So number 4, the Quinacridone Magenta, you have 5 parts. All right, that's what this bar represents, 5 parts of Quin Magenta. Number 5, Egyptian Violet, you have 1 part. Okay, that gives us a representation of 1 part. And then again, number 9, the Titanium White, you have 1 part. So let's say you were going to make a mix of this. Let's do it real quick so you get a sense for how this works. And I'll just leave all this stuff right on the screen here. Let me scooch that and that so you can see it all together. All right, so I'm going to take all the colors that I need to make this mix. I got number 4, Where's my quin? Here, it's right here. Number 4, number 5, and number 9. All right, so I'm going to take 5 parts quin magenta. There's any number of ways you can do this, but let's just play it like this. I'm going to do a little line here, and let's say that represents 5 parts. With the Egyptian violet, I'm going to come in, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to visually divide this line here in 5 parts. It's basically a blob like that. All right, so we'll do one of those, and we'll do one of these here. And this is a chart that's meant to help you get into the general ballpark of what this color is. The precision is not really the goal here. It's more just saying, hey, if you like a bluish color like this, or a purple color like the one we're about to mix, you can get into this range by playing around with these colors and considering a ratio that's similar to this one that's expressed here. All right, so we'll mix this together and see if we've gotten somewhat close to that beautiful purple there. And then you could tweak it one way or the other. But you know that those colors will get you in that range. It's like our virtual color mixer on the website. Very similar in that way. When you get onto that virtual mixer, I'm sure most of you have used it. And by the way, if you haven't, it's a great resource. If you go to goldenpaints.com, you can look up under resources and see the virtual paint mixer. You can go there and make some of these mixtures on the golden side of things and get into the general ballpark. And I think that I'm a little lighter than what is represented here, right? But it's pretty close. And then if I tinted that out with 10 parts white, I would get into a similar range. Now, you can use this as a tool to learn about color mixing with some of these pigments, and you could say, all right, I want to get a little darker there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more Egyptian violet, and that could get me into that range. Egyptian violet's very strong, so I just put a little bit of a whisper in there, and then it got me a little darker, and now I actually think that I'm a little closer to that, okay? So that's how it works. It's a really fun tool. We're excited about it. Again, this will be in the sets as they roll out toward end of year, but you can look for this mixing chart on the website once October-ish rolls around. You know, we'll have it ready for you then. Let's do some more of these. I want to go through and show you some of these unique new blends that are happening with some of the colors that we have on the new colors that we have on the set here. So this one is the Pyro Red, number 3, the Pyro Red with the number 7, which is the phthalo green. And this is cool because it goes, it thinks about this as a kind of a neutral, a red-green neutral. So I'm going to do one part of that, and then I'm going to go phthalo green here. So as you know from mixing in this way, if you use a real transparent red, you'll tend to get a rich neutral. And red greens, you can get some really deep neutral colors. Here we have an opaque red that's really warm and a cooler green. So let's see what kind of neutral it gives us. And you got to keep in mind when we print this stuff, it's not always exactly accurate. We try to get it as close as we can, but printing technology doesn't always line up with the physicality of the paint and the color that it provides us. I think the interesting thing about this color, and we try to catch it down here in the scrape, in the what we call the undertone, is the phthalo green will not stop shouting at us in that thin scrape. Look at that. You could see it down there. It's so green and lovely in the undertone. It's very unique in that way because this stuff looks like a reddish brown. Can we see that reddish brown there? How's that, Allison? Can you even see that brownish color on the screen?
Yeah. Yep, I can.
Okay. And so the combination of that red mass tone, that nutty red brown color with that green undertone is really unique. Let's tint that a little bit because I think that'll tell us something about what this color is all about. I'm just going to grab this up with a little bit of color. Maybe I have enough on my knife already just to see what it does. So very cool combination of warm brown mass tone and super cool grayish tint and undertone. So I love this one. This is great. This is a combination of pyro red and phthalo green. So if you have those two in your collection already, try mixing those together and see if you can get a nice, unique blend like that. Gorgeous. And that's just a 1-to-1 is what we did with that. Okay? And then I have one more here for you that I wanted to share. And this is a combo of the green gold, the pyro red, and the Egyptian violet. What we found when we were making this mixing chart is the green gold and the Egyptian violet are incredible when it comes to making brown colors. Okay? So this one will be a little bit more challenging because it's 10 parts to 1-to-1. And some of these have 20 parts to 1 and 15 to 4 to 3 to 2. So you got to be patient a little bit with yourself when you're working those out because it'll be subtle, but you just tweak it one way or the other and you'll figure it out. Okay, green gold. I don't know if a lot of people know about green gold. It's a single pigment. It's a copper complex of azomethane. All right, and it's a beautiful greenish, light warm green here with a glowing undertone, and it makes this lovely, I don't know what you'd call that, luminous yellow green in the tint. All right, so let's try to squeeze out what we would think would be 10 parts to 1-to-1. Okay, I'm just going to go like that. I'll do something similar to what I did with the pyro, and then I'll come in with my number 3 here, pyro red. I got to go 1 here, so I'm just going to do a little baby squirt there. Okay, and then number 5 is the Egyptian violet. Same thing. And the Egyptian violet's probably the strongest color on this palette. You can see from the drawdown here that Egyptian violet mixed with white, 1 part color to 10 parts white, it moves it so dramatically. And it colors that white so dark that tells you about its tinting strength. All right? The phthalos are pretty strong too, and the quin magentas right behind them. But the Egyptian violet a little bit goes a very long way, so just be careful when you're squeezing that out. All right, let's try to mix this together and see if we can get this nutty brown. This is kind of what we're shooting for here. And what I liked about this brown is the tint was very luminous. It's one of the things you'll find when you mix the modern colors together as opposed to just using an earth color is sometimes the tints have a totally different vibe. They're much more saturated. They have more chroma to them. So mixed neutrals have a very different appeal than neutral colors that are just like that by their nature. Earth colors, for example. Something like this. All right, so we got a really, it's so deep and brown. I don't even know that if you could see it on the screen there, but it's a lovely, deep, rich, saturated brown. Okay, and then let's do a tint on it so you can see what happens when we add a little white there. I think it'll make a good tan. I kind of expected it to be a little more yellow. Interesting. Maybe more green gold was needed. All right, let's say that I wanted to do that. I'm not going to let this thing be all dark like that. I want to lighten it up with a little bit of this green gold, which in some ways functions like a yellow. All right, so let's go in there and we'll do that. I'm going to grab up this stuff that we already made, and I'm going to try it once more. So we can all see what happens when you put a little green gold in. It was surprising over and over again making this color chart, working with that green gold. We thought, wow, what an addition. And it does have a real modern quality to it, the green gold, even though it comes off a little earthy. Oh yeah, okay, I like that. Oh, okay, now I'm seeing some of that light shine through in the undertone there, that warm yellowish quality. Let me take that dull tan out that we had from before, and let's try it again. All right, we'll do 2 little blobs there. And I'm coming in with some of this stuff. There we go. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was looking for, that much warmer tan color. And that could be so useful. But there you know, now you have a very warm tan, which has a higher concentration of green gold in it. And this one with a little bit of a lower concentration of the green gold has a stronger red quality. So that's the benefit of this chart. This is the benefit of this modern mixing set. You can get to know 8 beautiful colors just with this one set and determine which one of these colors, which one of these, what these combinations can give you, and which you might bring into your palette, you know, your everyday palette. All right. So keep an eye out for this. You'll start to see these changes in the stores toward the end of the year, and then go over to our website at williamsburgoils.com and look for that PDF sometime later in the fall, October, or sometime around there. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, you can email us at help@goldenpaints.com, or you can call 607-847-6154. Okay? Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.